Tell me a bit about the Summer University. I remember coming last year and hearing a bit about it, but you're about to try and take it kind of citywide.
Yeah, we're a charity organisation. Right. We try and encourage independent learning. We have like taster courses in the summer, like this summer we had fencing and investment banking.
Right.
But because the project is such an innovative and such a sort of great project, we're trying to expand it to other boroughs in London.
Yeah.
So this is what my colleague here, Luke.
Right. Just tell me, people in Tower Hamlets, how many people do you get into the Summer University courses? What sort of numbers are we talking about?
We get about 2,000 young people through just during the summer, but we find that we're at least oversubscribed by twice, sometimes 3 times, and that's kind of a pattern that's happened across London, really, as we've taken our model across London.
Right.
We're commissioned in April 06.
And what's the biggest aim? Is the biggest part of it to open up the possibility of university to people who might not have otherwise thought of it?
A big part of it is involving young people in actually the planning and the delivery of the Summer University.
Right.
So let's take the courses and they choose which courses are actually involved in Summer University, and that's what some of these guys have been doing, helping to decide what the courses are and actually helping to run the courses.
Yeah, brilliant.
Meeting David Cameron was a fantastic opportunity for all of us. You don't often get to meet political figures who are in the limelight, so I think it was fantastic for us to meet someone who was so concerned about youth issues.
I feel he's very compassionate and one of the few politicians that really means what he says. I really get a vibe from him that he actually wants to help people.
Who's got some questions for me?
Basically, my question is that Nang is a triple award-winning magazine.
Yep.
Yet we find that services run by local councils and businesses don't trust us. So, how do you kind of persuade local authorities to be less hostile to us?
Oh, it's so difficult. I mean, I think one is to encourage young people to get involved in politics. And I think councils have a role in doing that. I think schools have a role in doing that. And if we could get more young councillors, then they would immediately be thinking, when it comes to the council, well, what's the council doing to open up its services to young people? Politicians are always worried about what the media is going to say about them, so you can use the power of the media to get the politicians to engage. If you put in your magazine, here's a list of your local councillors, how to contact them, and if you're not happy with things in Tower Hamlets, here's how to get hold of them. I think you'd find they'd wake up pretty sharpish and start answering your calls and getting the council to engage with the magazine, because the media's got a really important role to play as a link between the council on the one hand and residents and young people on the other. So don't underestimate, have confidence in your own power if you're producing a magazine that's going to be distributed locally.
Young people at the moment, they've adopted this whole attitude where they think, oh, they don't care. They, whatever I say, it won't be taken into account, it won't be put onto record. So I think young people need to be shown that, look, we are being listened to and our voices are being heard.
We did this in my local authority area the other day, and I don't know whether Tower Hamlets does this brilliant scheme, really simple. They have a day where they get the kids from the school to come into the council and they give a little explanation of what the council does, and they say, right, now you've got to imagine you've got £1 million, where would you spend the money? And they spend the rest of the day on a project about how to spend the money. And what's interesting about it is not just that the young people really enjoy working out what they'd do with £1 million in terms of, is it community safety, is it the environment, but actually the councillors there start thinking, hold on a second, why didn't we think of that idea or this idea? And it's that link up between the council and young people that I think too often doesn't happen. So start in school by projects like that get councils involved in schools, and then I think we won't have quite such a divide between councils on one hand and young people on the other.
I was going to ask him a question, actually, quite an amusing one, but about whether he hopes to set up a plumbing service in his constituency after the whole Kate Moss thing, but I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate.
I thought it was a really amazing experience. You don't really get an opportunity to meet such influential figures like him.
He actually goes out to secondary schools and actually speaks to young people and listens to them that way. I think we need a lot more of that, a lot of politicians actually going out, reaching out a hand to young people and actually listening to them in places where they feel comfortable talking.